Hey guys, today Lenovo has sent over the ThinkPad C13 Yoga Chromebook. I think for some reason the title of this thing just will not stick in my head, but it's a ThinkPad, it's a C13, it's powered by Ryzen chips. It's got all kinds of cool internal stuff. It's got a stowable stylus, full HD screen, great build quality, all that kind of stuff is what we are expecting. But we got the box in and wanted to just hop on camera and get this thing out of the box and see what it looks like. Today's video is brought to you by NordVPN. They're the VPN of choice for millions of consumers because they're awesome at what they do, which is keeping your browsing safe and secure, whether you are at home or out and about. If you'd like to learn more about them, head over to chromeunbox.com/NordVPN, where you can learn more and get started today. Okay, so without any further ado, let's hop in the box. And as far as Chromebook boxes go, I mean, this is kind of a nicely branded one. It's got that whole ThinkPad thing going on the outside, but ultimately it is just a big brown box with a Chromebook inside. There's not a whole lot of surprises when we come to unboxings, and honestly, like, the phone industry is getting into this too. So we're losing chargers and no headphones in the box anymore. So even phone unboxings are kind of getting a little bit more boring. So we don't want to spend a whole lot of time on the packaging and all the junk in here. We just want to get a first impression of this Chromebook. So I'm going to get it out of the bag here and just set it down. Just make sure there's no other goodies here inside. Nope, your general paperwork. And yeah, nothing surprising as far as the charger goes. It's a USB Type-C charger. Again, all of this is just par for the course when it comes to Chromebooks. So just get all of this stuff out of the way and get to what you came here for, which is this new C13 ThinkPad from Lenovo. And right off the bat, I love the color of this thing. It's like a dark navy, almost black, but just a really nice finish. Very substantial, which isn't surprising. I mean, ThinkPad devices, whether they're Windows or Chromebooks, are generally built for enterprise. This one's no different. This is definitely aimed at the enterprise market. It's not that it's not available for consumers, but they're building this thing with enterprise in mind, and that means it is just really rigid, very nice and firm. And this is not a cheap Chromebook by any stretch of the imagination. It's anywhere from $800 to well over $1,000, depending on how you get it outfitted. But the chief thing about this is that it's one of the first Chromebooks to come out with AMD's new processors in it. So the one they sent over to us specifically is the Ryzen 5, so the 3500C processor, 8 gigs of RAM, and 256 gigs of internal storage. And that is of the NVMe variety. But again, this is just kind of first initial thoughts here. We got lots of I/O, lots of good port selection here. So if you can see on the side, we've got full-size HDMI. We've got a USB Type-C over here, volume rocker, power button, speakers on the side there. So we'll just have to see how those sound. And then on the other side, you get two full-size USB 3.0 ports, another USB Type-C, and then your micro SD card headphone jack. So honestly, as far as like old peripherals you want to plug in, full-size HDMI for meetings, USB Type-C stuff, docking solutions, it's all here. You've got all the stuff you need in front of you. So let's just open this thing up. Hinge is nice and firm. You're not going to get a one-hand lift, and we generally don't see that whenever you are dealing with a convertible. But while we're at it, we'll look at that hinge as well. Let's see if this thing, yeah, we'll have to cut away to power it on, but you know, you flip the hinge around, it's a general convertible Chromebook, nothing surprising there as well. 16:9 screen, so full HD, 300 nit screen, again, convertible form factor, and just like any other Chromebook that converts, it doesn't feel like a great tablet or anything, but when you want to set it, you know, in a presentation mode or something like that, it will work really well for that. It's going to be nice to flip it around and get to the stowed stylus that we'll talk about here in just a second. But let's take a second and get this thing booted up, and let me sign in real quick so I can give you a little more of a full rundown. Okay, now that we are all logged in, booted up, and all that kind of stuff, that whole process of just kind of getting a Chromebook set up usually informs me a lot about a bunch of stuff on a Chromebook. Again, this isn't a review, we're just talking about some quick hands-on impressions, but this device has a lot of good stuff going for it. First up, and I'm not gonna hopefully blow the shot out here, is the screen is actually really nice and bright. It's rated at 300 nits from what I understand, so it's not going to be crazy bright compared to a handful of other Chromebooks, but the colors look really great. The viewing angles, even as I'm looking straight down the screen right now, I can see everything on the screen. So the viewing angles look good, the colors look good. Again, 16:9 full HD 13.3 inch screen here. So nothing crazy or out of the ordinary, but say you've used a Pixelbook Go, you kind of would be familiar with the screen size, the dimensions, the resolution, and the brightness. It feels a lot like that screen, which is a good thing. It's a solid screen. There is a 4K model of this that has a 400 nit screen, I believe, on it, but I personally think 4K at this resolution is just absolute overkill. So very good screen. Just even moving the hinge around and just like the rigidity of the top part of this thing, the whole thing just feels incredibly well built already just from messing around. But you can already tell there's all kinds of cool stuff going on here. So you had great I/O, so great port selections. You've got a backlit keyboard that you don't see a ton of light bleed all around, so you just kind of get this nice glow from the top. There's a little bit. Another unique thing that we have on this particular Chromebook that we've kind of not seen in a little while is a stowed stylus. So a couple unique things about this particular stylus. One, it's USI. So that means that it would work. Technically, I could take this stylus and go pick up any other Chromebook with a USI stylus screen and start writing on it. It would work. The other thing is, hopefully you can focus on that and see that there are actually some leads there. USI stylus pens need battery. Well, this one obviously still has some sort of battery inside of it, and those leads are what this Chromebook uses to charge it whenever you've placed it right back here in this holster. So that's kind of a unique first thing with Chrome OS, is to have a Chromebook that has a stylus that not only is stowable in the device, also stowable in the device as a USI stylus, that also recharges whenever it's put away. You've obviously got the nub. We'll talk about that here in just a second. You've got a world-facing camera. So if we flip into presentation modes, if you're in this mode here, you can actually get video going this way if you have the thing in tablet mode or something like that. I don't know how useful these are, especially in enterprise stuff, but like maybe if you're scanning things, you're taking pictures of inventory, that kind of stuff, we'll obviously test out these cameras and see if they're any good or not. But usually the world-facing cameras are a little bit better than your standard webcam that is included. And then you get some interesting things going on here. So first, a fingerprint scanner. I set that up as I first opened the Chromebook up, and it works just like any other fingerprint scanner. The positioning's a little strange, but it works. It's quick, and it unlocks your Chromebook very fast and keeps you secure. The trackpad is glass. It has a very nice, quiet, you probably can't even pick this up. No, that's barely making any noise, but it's a very satisfying, good feeling trackpad. So that's very cool. And you get physical buttons up here, so 3 of them. And this is a ThinkPad thing. So this is something that ThinkPads do on Windows devices. And when the first ThinkPad came out, it was a few years back that Lenovo made a ThinkPad Chromebook. Google made them nix these, and now they've I guess figured out a way to make them happy, and so they're back. So you have obviously left, right, and then you have the center click button as well. So it'd be the same thing as if you clicked on the mouse wheel. But really what those are for is if you're using that nub to move around with. And when we first started talking about this on a Chromebook, a lot of people were like, what's the point of this? You got a trackpad. Why would you need this? And we all negate the idea that there are people that have to work that wear some sort of gloves, whether they be huge like construction type gloves that are heavy and hard to manipulate stuff with, or even just rubber gloves that are going to mess with using a trackpad. Well, these little nubs help you move the mouse around the screen, and then you have these hard buttons down here to actually use it. And so in a lot of environments, honestly, outside of sitting at a desk or at a cubicle, that little nub probably comes in very, very handy. So it's cool to see that come along. I mean, that's just a lot of stuff going on here. World-facing camera, fingerprint scanner. We're going to use all of it, mess around with all of it, and see how all of it works. But what I can tell you right off the bat is, yeah, I know this thing is expensive. It's an expensive Chromebook. And yes, it's aimed at enterprise and working individuals. But just off the bat, it feels great. It feels like a professional level Chromebook. And ThinkPads have come a long way. They used to be really, really ugly, kind of clunky, and this one is kind of attractive looking. It's a little Frankensteinish, there's a lot of stuff going on here, but it's a good looking Chromebook. I need to spend some time with the device in order to figure out how well the processors work. We've messed with a couple AMD devices at this point with this Ryzen 5 chipset in them, and the benchmarks aren't great, but I need to use it on a day-to-day basis to find out what it actually feels like to use it. Is it slow? Is it fast? The benchmarks aren't amazing. They're nowhere near what we get from 10th and 11th gen Intel processors, but benchmarks don't tell the whole story. These AMD chips have much better GPUs in them, so that could make up for a lot of things. It's going to be hard to tell until I spend some time with it. What I can tell you right off the bat is that this is a great feeling Chromebook that has a lot of unique features for a lot of working class people that honestly may appeal to a lot of you. So I'm interested to, take this thing for a test drive, really get in and review it, see how it performs, see how all the extra little bits and pieces actually add up for a better or just a average Chromebook experience. We won't know till we review it, so obviously we will be doing that. But guys, that's it for this one. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up. Head down there and hit that subscribe button, and make sure and hit the notification icon as well, the little bell, if you'd like to be alerted when we make future videos just like this one. Until next time, we'll see you.